Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited for tonight's Wellness Wednesday Mega Zoom event. We have made them categorized. So today's is going to be focused on mental health, and I'm super excited for Ingrid and Alice to share their stories after I share mine. We all have pretty awesome mental health transformations, and I'm pretty excited to be able to share this and help people with what they're going through. So I'll start with my story. For me, I've dealt with a lot of different things when it comes to mental health, anywhere from anxiety and depression for pretty much as long as I can remember, to being like a very high stress, kind of angry, pessimistic person. I've struggled with PTSD from multiple different kinds of trauma in my life, addictions, disordered eating habits, and I've always tried to kind of self-heal myself. When I was younger, I was pushed into doing therapy for my anger, and that kind of it was a bad experience that traumatized me from doing that in my adulthood. It's something I'm still kind of working on, and I have many friends that, they do therapy and it's really helpful for them. So I'm just trying to, that's one thing that I'm still kind of like overcoming, is that past trauma. And then, of course, the doctors, most of them, they want to just push prescription drugs on you whenever you say anxiety, depression, anything like that. And I never resonated with that. So I've never personally accepted or gone on any prescription drugs for that. But it was a struggle. I definitely was not coping with it very well as a child, and that followed me into my adulthood. When 2020 hit, I kind of spiraled back down into my lowest point, and that's when I realized I really need to focus on my health. I had a couple of autoimmune diagnoses that added on to my anxiety and my stress at the time, and I was just in a really rough spot. I was, overeating, binge eating. I was at one point in my life very addicted to different drugs and alcohol. And a big part of my transformation started when I went vegan. So that all kind of came about from me having issues with my health and going to the doctor, trying to see what the heck was wrong with me. And they put me on this weird elimination diet that within 2 months did nothing for me. And I was blessed at that point to go and hear a plant-based doctor speak about the power of whole food plant-based and what it can not only prevent, but also reverse. And I was sold. So I went vegan overnight, and that did a lot for me. Of course, cutting out animal products and most processed foods. Within 2 months of going vegan, I also decided to cut out the gluten and the alcohol. So releasing all of that from my diet, definitely, I've seen a lot of, positive strides in my mental health. But like I said, in 2020, when March came around and I lost my job, I lost my ability to go to the gym, I lost human connection and felt very isolated, I quickly spiraled, and a lot of new symptoms started to appear. And that's when I got my 2 autoimmune diagnosis. And that, on top of my partner having to be the financial, the person in my life where I was used to being a very independent woman. I didn't, love having to depend on another human. So my stress kind of got out of control. A lot of my past traumas were starting to bubble up to the surface. And I just said, this is not my life. I have to figure this out. And so I went into whole food, plant-based, organic. I started juicing every morning. I started doing all the different, ethical, cruelty-free, sustainable, CBD, and trying to do a heavy metal detox and all these different things that was costing a lot of money. It was taking a lot of time, and it wasn't really getting me anywhere for almost a year. And that is about when I was introduced to an incredible human on Instagram, of all places, that she, we just built a very, genuine friendship. And it came out kind of early on in our conversations that I was really in a rough spot with my health. and I was jobless, and she presented this incredible opportunity for me to help me get out of all of that. And I very quickly said yes. That I just knew, hearing her speak of it, seeing how she was thriving, the community she was in, how they were thriving, and watching the videos in the beginning that she shared with me. And it was just like another moment when I went vegan. I knew this was the answer for me. And so I stepped in and I started doing my very first ultimate lifestyle transformation, which we will speak to at the end of the call. And I was blown away because by day 6, I had seen and felt so much more improvement in every area of my health. And almost mostly in the beginning, it was my mental health that I really started taking notice to, how I wasn't having panic attacks and I wasn't feeling super depressed, and I was actually feeling kind of optimistic and happy. And I started gaining self-love for the first time, like real self-love, not just lying to myself with affirmations in the mirror every morning, but like really felt connected to myself. And the anger started to go away, the confidence started to come in, my anxiety, my depression were completely manageable at this point. I wasn't having any like PTSD going on. It was just incredible. And my like overeating, binge eating, that completely quit, because it puts you on this really awesome, really easy to follow schedule that you don't have to worry or really think too hard about what you're going to eat, what you're going to do. And that was really helpful for me. And I'm just blown away. It's almost been a year at this point, and I have still been noticing nonstop improvements. Like every day gets better, it feels like. And of course, I'm human. I've gone through some traumatic, experiences in my past year. Like for one, I did have an emotional support animal for a very long time, and she was my baby, and I lost her at the beginning of this year. And I can just imagine where I would be right now if it wasn't for these foods and this community that has supported me through this, because she was my rock that I would lean on. And I didn't think that I would be able to, be happy without her in my life. But it's crazy what happens when you have support and when you have like-minded people. So I'm just so grateful every day that I have found this opportunity and I said yes, and that Ingrid came into my life, because I'm here to help, everyone that I can going vegan and learning the lies that they tell you and all of these truths that you start going down the rabbit hole and discovering, what's really going on out there with our food system, with the healthcare system. I just wanted to spread that truth and spread what I have been learning to help me help others. And this is like the perfect vehicle to be able to help other people, an actual tangible tool that everyone can have access to. And it's mind-blowing to me how different I was last year at this time to now. And so I'm going to pass it over to Ingrid to share her story, because if it wasn't for her, I would not be here. I would not be able to push through this emotional time in my life. And so I'm going to pass it to you, Ingrid. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Samantha. Your story it just blows me away every time I hear it. It's so powerful. And hearing some of these stories and, how people's lives have been affected through these superfoods just always helps me to go deeper with my healing too. And, continue to just share this message because it is so powerful. And, we're changing people's lives every day. It's pretty amazing to see. So my mental health journey has been a long one. My mental health journey probably started when I was around, it was like 13 years old, was actually probably 12 years old when it began. But around 12 years old, I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. And all throughout my life growing up, I've had a very difficult relationship with my parents. I've struggled with those relationships for as long as I can remember. There was a lot of anger and abuse kind of in my childhood growing up. And so at the age of 13, due to some unfortunate circumstances, I actually ended up in foster care. And so that's when my depression and my anxiety and everything that I was struggling with, PTSD. I'm assuming I haven't been diagnosed with that clinically, but I had been through a lot up until that point. And, that's when it kind of plummeted. Like, I was cut off from my entire family for the first 2 weeks before I went in, or it was 3 weeks before I went into foster care. I was in a shelter home surrounded by these kids who had done really horrible things, actually. And, I would hear their stories and I'm like, why am I here? Like, why am I here? Like, what is this leading me to? So all throughout foster care, I did end up aging out of foster care at the age of 18. I never did go back with my parents. But all throughout those years, my mental health was a horrible, horrible struggle. And in foster care, they do want to help you. I mean, it's a tricky situation. I was blessed to be able to be put with a really beautiful woman who took good care of me, and she really does love me, which was amazing. But it was dealing with social workers every week, dealing with the police every so often, dealing with other kids, really troubled children that I was living with, who the cops would get called on every week. I mean, there was even an instance where our house was going to be shot up, and like the police would have to come and intervene. And I dealt with a lot of trauma there as well. So the trauma didn't stop there. It continued on throughout foster care with a lot of different traumatizing situations. And so that set my anxiety levels up, and my depression got really bad as well there. So throughout that, I began therapy. Actually, before I even went into foster care, I was in therapy. And I think I've been through probably 8 or more different therapists at this point in my life. Because there was never any one person that could really help me or be able to talk me through it. I was just so deep and so lost in my own worries and my own traumas that there was nothing that really could pull me out. So there was one therapist, there were a couple therapists that started me on some different medications. So I was on and off of all kinds of depression medications, anxiety medications. And, with depression medication like that, it's kind of a trial and error process. There's a plethora of different, and they never really know what's going to specifically work for a person or what dosage is going to work for someone. And so, I think that started to the age of like 14 or 15 that I started on this trial and error process. And it was horrible. It was grueling. Some of these medications would fix a couple things, but make some things worse. And, it got to a point where I was on this medication, and they had, I think they had done a higher dosage of a new medication. And, it sent me into this horrible spiral. Like, I don't even remember that I was on the medication for like 2 weeks, and I don't even remember those 2 weeks because I was gone. And I actually made a suicide attempt that I had actually gotten pretty close that time to ending my life. And yeah, that was at the age of 16. And I actually ended up in the mental hospital for 2 weeks. And at that point I was like, I'm done. They wanted to keep me on the medication to like observe me or whatever. And I was like, no, like I'm done. Like I can't do that. If I'm just going to be depressed for the rest of my life, I'd rather do that than end up here again, because the mental hospital was a very dark place for me. And again, I didn't really understand why I was there. I mean, I knew I was troubled. I knew what had happened and that I did try to commit suicide, but that I didn't know how it was going to get better, really. So I said no to that. And, that was around that time that I actually ended up going vegan. And I thought, maybe this is going to help my mental health a little bit. I was vegetarian at the time. I had been vegetarian since the age of 10 years old. It was primarily for the animals. It wasn't anything to do with my health. I was not a healthy vegetarian and not a healthy vegan at first either. But, I started that. I kind of started trying to journal. I talked to my foster mom a lot more. I was going to therapy two times a week at that point. That was some of the conditions that they were able to release me out of the psych ward. That was the condition, was I had to go to therapy way more often than I was going. So, there were the ups and downs. It would get better and then it would get worse again, but it never did get to that point where I ended up in the mental hospital, which is great. But yeah, all throughout up until I was about 20 years old, it would go up and down, up and down. And then of course I have seasonal depression on top of my regular depression. So during the winter, it would get significantly worse. There would be sometimes days or even weeks that I wouldn't want to get out of bed. I would get out of bed to eat some crappy food and go to the bathroom, and that would be it. Like my self-care was non-existent, in the gutter, like no good. And so in 2020, when the pandemic hit, that was another really, really dark point for me, because at that point, I felt like before the pandemic, I felt like I was in a pretty good spot. I was waitressing, bartending, I was enjoying my job. I had made some friends at work that I was really excited about, because when I went into foster care, I lost all of my friends. Some horrible rumors were started about me at my previous school. And then when I went into the mental hospital, I actually was out of school for a year. And so more horrible rumors were started about me there. So I was excited about the friends that I was making, because before that I had been pretty isolated. And so the pandemic hits, and, I go to collect my stuff at work and say goodbye to everybody. And that was pretty much it. I really haven't talked to those people since. And so, I moved back in with my parents. My husband and I, or my boyfriend and I at the time, moved in with my parents. And it was really hard. I was just so isolated, and I couldn't handle it. So I shut off. I just like completely dissociated. I don't even remember the majority of the first few months of the pandemic, because I was out, I was gone. I signed off. But we were trying to make our lives better. We were trying to, move somewhere warm. We were trying to find a better alternative. Part of me was kind of searching outside myself for something better. Like, there's got to be something that's going to help me. Like, maybe we need to move to warmer climate. And, that's when we decided that we were going to move to Central America, to Belize. And my beautiful friend, Alice, who's here today, she was moving to Belize too. And that's how I initially became connected with her. I was like, she's moving to Belize, I got to talk to her. We were moving to the same community at the time. And so, I started snooping on her page, checking out what she was doing, who she was. I saw she was an influencer. I was like, ooh. But she had this kind of glow about her. And, it was really intriguing to me, because she was vegan. And I was too. I was like, okay, cool, awesome. But she had this like vitality about her, this just glow, just this energy about her. And it was amazing to me. I had never really seen somebody, quite glow like that before, just have that energy. So I was following her for a while and just kind of watching what she was doing. And I saw her talking about superfoods a lot. And, she had this beautiful community of people, and like she was doing lives with people all the time. And, just talking to all these amazing people. And so I messaged her and I was like, hey, like, what are you doing? And like, what is this? And she was just so excited to share with me. And, at that point, I was ready. Like, she was doing something right, and I wanted a piece of it. And so we began talking, and she began sharing with me what she'd been doing. And, I said yes pretty quickly. We got on a call about it and talked about these superfoods that had changed her life. And she told me, she got pretty vulnerable and told me about her kind of mental health story, like she's going to share today. And, it kind of blew me away. I was so happy for her. And, I really wanted that for myself. And so she told me, like, there's a 60-day money back guarantee. You really have nothing to lose. And so I was like, all right, let's do it. And so I ordered my first ultimate lifestyle transformation. And I was like, all right, I'm all in. I'm going to do this to the fullest. I think this is it. And I got so excited about it. So the first thing I did was I got rid of all the processed food that I had in my fridge, all the processed crap that I had in my freezer. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's over. I'm done. And I went grocery shopping. I bought a ton of raw foods, whole foods, because you want to cleanse your body from all the processed foods and bad sugars and everything like that. And I was like, all right, I'm on board. So I did my first ultimate lifestyle transformation. And I think it was like the third or fourth day, which seems like that's when all the magic happens. I felt like the clouds had parted, like the clouds had lifted on that morning when I woke up. And it was just amazing. It's hard to describe almost, but I felt like I a human. Like I felt like a human being. Like I felt like I should feel. And I was like, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel so happy? Why do I feel so excited? Why do I feel so energized? And I was like, oh, it's the superfoods. And I was like, this is amazing. I was so happy. And, you know, throughout those 30 days, so much changed for me. My skin cleared up. My energy levels were crazy. I didn't want to stay in bed anymore. I wanted to get up. I mean, there were days I would go for walks around my neighborhood, like every day. Some of the days I'd go for like 9-mile long hikes, which a few days before that, I mean, I wouldn't get out of bed for weeks. So it was just amazing. Like the change was so drastic. And, you know, that's why I did end up deciding to share these superfoods with the world. Because there was an amazing opportunity that she presented to me to be able to share this. And I was like, heck yeah, I'm not keeping this to myself. Like everybody needs to know about this. This is amazing. And so, yeah, it was incredible. And, you know, through that opportunity, I got to live in Belize with her. It's been so beautiful. And I mean, of course, with mental health, there's always going to be ups and downs. And this past winter, you know, I had a down. You know, I threw a lot of my self-care habits to the wind. Like I got super depressed over the winter and I stopped consuming my superfoods. Everything kind of just halted and stopped. And I did dissociate for a little while. I mean, there were days that I wouldn't get out of bed and I just feel so unmotivated and so just super depressed. And my anxiety levels were through the roof. Being back in my hometown over this winter. But recently I just started another ultimate lifestyle transformation. I was like, I know what I need to do. I know why I'm not feeling good. And, you know, I'm on day 15, I think today. And I feel amazing. Like I feel so good. Like over the winter, like my bloating was so bad. I looked like I was 6 months pregnant and I was so depressed. I was just struggling so much. And I knew the answer. I was selling myself short, and I'm never going to do that again because nothing is better than feeling this good. Nothing is better than feeling this good. It's so worth it. It's so worth it to love myself like this and to take care of myself like this. And it's so important and so worth it to say yes to your health, because gut health, physical health is mental health. And it's taken me a while to learn that, but it truly is. And I will never go back after this. So with that, I want to turn it over to Alice because her story is amazing. It's so inspiring me, and it's inspired me over the last couple of years to follow through and to just live in this truth. So thank you so much, Alice, for showing this to me, and I'm so excited to hear your story again.
Oh, thank you so much, both of you. Oh my goodness, it takes so much courage to go through what you did and to share, and I'm just in awe of you, magnificent women, because people don't know what you were like when I met you both, and to see you both like grow and thrive. Like that's why I do this. This is why we do this, because if we can help one person feel good, it's worth doing this. So thank you for your courage, and thank you for that beautiful introduction. And yes, so I'm Alice, and I started this 2 years ago now. So I've been doing this for a little while now, living this lifestyle every single day. And to fast go back to those times, you know, I was codependent, and I had a narcissistic father. And as it goes, I was married to quite an abusive narcissistic guy. And it was for a long time. We were married for a couple of years, and I was just, what happens when you're depressed is you just give up on yourself, and you give up. And I was expecting everyone else to do everything for me. I took no responsibility for my life. I was essentially like a child because I was stuck in this marriage with someone who didn't let me see people. So I was isolated, and I had no hopes or dreams, but I always had like this spark. I was like, there has to be more to life. There has to be. And while all this was happening, my anxiety was through the roof. I had PTSD, but at the time I didn't know what it was. I just knew that I was having flashbacks. I was waking up having panic attacks, and all these things. And it got to 2020, and something just snapped in me. Something just snapped. And I said, Alice, actually, it was when my brother came to me one day. My brother came to me in my bedroom one day, and he was crying. And he said, Alice, if you don't leave your husband, your whole life is going to go to ruin. And I don't even know what's going to happen. And I'm scared. And that literally woke me up. It woke me up. And I thought, oh my God, he's right. he's right. And this is my one shot. And I was 28 by this point. And so with the help of my family, I got the courage to make him leave. I said, you have to leave. And I was in a bit of shock, but I was really empowered by the decision that I'd made. And I moved back in with my parents and I got a therapist. But at the time, my mental health was suffering because I had a bit of Stockholm syndrome. I thought I'd made a mistake. I didn't really know what to do. And I kind of got on my knees in a way. And I was like, I surrender. Why am I here? I know there's something I'm here to do. I have such a big heart. What can I do? I want to help. I'd been vegan 7 years to this point, and like these girls said, not healthily, but it had helped me a little bit. And I had extremely bad leaky gut syndrome at this point, really bad, to the point where I nearly had an autoimmune disease like Sam had. I know Sam, Ingrid, you had extreme gluten intolerances. My gut was in bits, and my anxiety, my depression were making it so much worse. So I was basically bedbound. But I knew that when you let go of something that is really bad in your life, something good fills that spot. And I remember the day our friend Alison reached out to me. I'll always remember the day. And she said, Alice, I know what you're going through. I know I can help you. And at this point, I felt like I'd manifested it. I can't explain why, but I was like, I've been calling something in, and she told me what it was. She told me she got off 5 medications, including bipolar medication. She didn't have psychotic thoughts. She was feeling amazing. She was a mother of 2 children. She was like, I can function as a mother again. And I know this is going to help you. And she put me in touch with our friend Sarah Brando, a nutritionist who taught me about gut health. And she said, Alice, when you heal your gut, your mental health is going to go up like this. You have no, and I was like, gut health has something to do with mental health. I was completely clueless. She said, yes, serotonin is made in the gut, Alice, and your gut is in bits right now. You're in fight or flight. You've got PTSD. You're in trauma response right now. Let's heal your body. Let's get your system back to regulation. We need your body to calm down. And I was like, okay. And I just said yes. I was like, yes. I was living with my parents. I had no job. I just got divorced. And I was like, I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I just trusted these women. And I didn't have any friends at the time. I didn't have anyone. I had my mom and my dad, and they didn't understand me at all. So I said yes, and I jumped on it. And it's like these ladies said, I can't explain it, but day 3 was mine. Day 3, I woke up. Oh, I get goosebumps because I woke up and everything in my life was still shit, really. Like nothing had changed, but everything inside of me had changed. I felt like joy. And I was like, I don't remember what that even feels like. I felt positive. I felt motivated. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, it's like seeing myself for the first time. I was like, you're amazing. Look at your beautiful eyes and look at your heart. I can feel your heart. Isn't life so good? And I called Alison crying and I was like, what have you done to me? What is this? The gut health brain connection. Within 10 days, I came off my medication for my gut. I could eat food again. I was absorbing nutrition. I was feeling amazing. I just looked at my marriage in a completely different way. I didn't feel like a victim anymore. I felt like a warrior who'd survived something. And I started talking to women who were in abusive relationships, and I was helping them connect them to these foods. And that's how I met these 2 ladies. Like, we find each other when we need each other. And when we're brave enough to tell our story and share something that works, other people get to heal too. And so within 3 months of finding this, I got so much drive. I built my business doing this. I was like, I have to do this for the rest of my life. Like, this is my calling. And it went so well. Suddenly everything I wanted, my independence, I traveled to America within 3 months. And I was codependent before. I was so scared to even like go down the road by myself, let alone travel. And I've been traveling the world since. Me and Ingrid spent 5 months together in Belize, building a vegan eco village, like healing and going through all these crazy experiences. That's a whole nother chapter, but it's been nothing but blessings since. And I'm not the same woman that I was when I started this. I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad every day I said yes to this, because I don't know where I'd be, but I know that this was the thing that changed my entire life. Biomedic and these foods, they completely rebuild your body. They give you your mind back. they give you your life back and your self-worth, and just they connect you to the most amazing people. Like I have friends now, like we have each other and we heal together and we love on each other so hard all the time. Oh my goodness. And now, instead of being codependent on my husband or my parents for money, I have my own thriving business. I never even knew I could do that. So I owe everything to saying yes to this right now. And I'm like a survivor essentially of a really bad situation. And now I get to help other people go through it because I've healed my PTSD. I don't have trauma around it. I feel like a victor. And this is the power of nutrition. It sounds insane because it did to me at the beginning, but you have to live it. And, you know, with that, people are probably like, what on earth is this? I need to know. And I know Sam's got some beautiful slides ready, so we can talk you through power of nutrition right here.
Oh my gosh, you ladies have the most incredible stories. I'm so happy to have connected with you, and we're like family now. Like our tribe is just, it's our soul family. So I am super excited to share my screen so you can all see what we're talking about and what actually changed us. And so let's start maybe with actually what transformation truly is. And it is a permanent lasting change. And I'm just so grateful that this is, you know, I have something to be excited for, and I look forward to the future now, whereas I used to dread it. And so the ultimate lifestyle transformation is what most people do to get started. So this is like the little sheet that comes with it. It kind of lays out the foods that are in it, and you get to track your progress, which is super cool when you are at the end of your 30 days to look back and see just how far you've come. So the first thing in the ultimate lifestyle transformation, maybe it's hard to say because they're all favorites in their own individual way, but the Super Immuno 23 is incredible. It was created by a doctor for comatose patients, actually, and it was to help them avoid losing their muscle mass while their body was just doing nothing. And so it really truly can help you to build lean muscle, to burn fat, which is just incredible. I know a lot of people will come into this with like weight loss goals, but I've had people like my partner actually gain muscle mass through doing this 30-day program. So don't be afraid if weight loss isn't what you're in for. It just helps you to optimize and get back to where your body is most healthy. Mental acuity, that was something that I am just so grateful for, like the brain fog, the ability to process my thoughts is so heightened. Skin tightening, which is incredible. If you are losing weight, you don't want to have loose skin. I know people like Allison who introduced this to Alice. She's a mom, and this helped her just like really tone up her tummy area, which is so cool. And it's neat because it's called Super Amino 23. It absorbs into your bloodstream within 23 minutes. And it's 99% bioavailable. So that means that there's practically zero waste involved, whereas most protein sources, animal-based or even plant-based, whole foods like beans, it's like a 30 to 40% bioavailability at most, and you never really know when it's going to assimilate into your body and be utilized or utilizable. But these are pre-digested, so it goes straight in, it doesn't break your fast, and it's pretty incredible what happens when you stay consistent with these foods. And then the next one, the Power Shake, this is our daily green juice. It's incredible. It has 6 microgreen salads worth of nutrients, which is just mind-blowing to me. So yeah, no one eats 6 salads in a day. At least I could never. And so this is like all in one go right in the morning. You get all of your nutrition. It's 98% living enzymes. They're reactivated when you add it to the water through the incredible like low heat solar dehydration process that this company utilizes. So it's better than anything you can get at the grocery store. It's as if you go into your backyard and you pick it and you eat it. So that's just mind-blowing to me, that it has that much living enzymes in it. It's super alkalizing for your body. So this whole program focuses on alkalizing your body, getting you back to homeostasis, and removing the toxins and the parasites. And then because it's so high vibrational, it really does boost your energy. I know people that with this alone have been able to kick their caffeine habits, which is pretty cool. And it does get you at a cellular level, and which is really cool because when you're cleansing, trauma is stored in the cells, and so there's a lot that's going to come up in your healing journey, and this just, it really holds you and it nourishes you to the most like optimal levels. It's nothing that I have ever experienced, and most people have never experienced this type of nutrition before. And then for the next one, I'm gonna pass it over to Ingrid, and she'll share with you some more on the next foods.
Yay, thank you so much. Yeah, I love the super aminos and the power shake, and the apothecary is amazing. This has really transformed my sleep. I used to struggle with sleep. There was a point where I was going to the hospital to the doctor because I was only getting like 4 hours of sleep a night, and that was going on for like a couple of months when I was younger. So this creates natural melatonin. So the type of melatonin that you buy in the store, it's synthetic. Your body doesn't recognize it. So much of it gets wasted, and it's so expensive. So this is a really amazing natural alternative. So you're able to reach REM sleep, which is the deep restful sleep. And sleeping is when you do your most, the deepest healing, the deepest physical healing. And so REM sleep is so important. It's super high in antioxidants. It's, I don't remember exactly the correct statistics, but it's got way more antioxidants than blueberries. It's a great healthy response to inflammation. So the tart cherry juice, if you have a lot of inflammation in the body, this is going to help to bring it down. I know even just during this round of cleansing that I've been doing, like I said, it's 5 cups of organic blueberries. That's what it is. Thank you, Alice. But yeah, I've been able to bring down so much inflammation in my body. I got super inflamed over this last winter. I've noticed it in my face, in my body, especially in my stomach. So much inflammation has gone down. It helps to beautify the skin. I felt like my skin was glowing the first cleanse I did, and I still do now. So this is amazing for your skin, and then combats free radical damage as well, which is just absolutely amazing. So perfect for regeneration. I love the apothecary. Also, yeah, livid dreams, definitely. Yeah, my dreams have been amazing when I drink apothecary. And Biometic, like this is like the holy grail. The Biometic is by far my favorite product that Purium has ever created. I've tried a lot of them. So it's a pre and probiotic. It's got humic and fulvic acid. It helps you to detox glyphosate and other toxins. So glyphosate is the toxic chemical found in Roundup, and it is destroying guts right now. I mean, it's so hard to find anything that doesn't have glyphosate in it. Even organic foods have been shown to have glyphosate in them. And yeah, like Alice said, it's linked to mental health issues. Because for example, 95% of your serotonin and your dopamine is created in your gut. There is such a strong connection between your gut and your brain. They're actually formed in the womb together. So they are linked from birth, even from conception, really. So that's really amazing to be able to detox the glyphosate, because our body doesn't have a natural way to do it. So it just builds and builds and builds and continues to just destroy our gut microbiome. So it's really important to get that out of your body. So your repairs your gut microbiome, and it improves nutrient absorption as well. So it's just truly amazing. That's, I feel like, is what has truly transformed my life, is the Biometic, because now I'm just getting in so much more nutrients, and yeah, it's incredible. So Alice, if you want to take it away with the super cleanser, the last amazing product.
Of course. Thank you, ladies. You know, this is such a self-love regimen. When you've been living, I don't know, with depression or anxiety, the detriment of that is you stop looking after yourself. So what this does is it gives you a chance to love in your body harder than you ever have. And so Super Cleanser helps rid the body of parasites. Parasites remove, they control our mood and our cravings. So a lot of times when you get really angry really fast or really emotional, it's actually parasites. They're entities that live in our body. It doesn't matter what diet that we actually are on. Even if we're vegan, sadly, we have parasites. I live here in Mexico now, so they are everywhere. And if you see, I often see like angry people in the street, and I just think, oh my God, you just need a parasite cleanse. So what Super Cleanser does is it kills the parasites and the eggs, so that there's no more cycle of parasites. They're dangerous because they get the nutrition when you eat. So if you're eating all these delicious organic foods, they're going to get all the nutrition before you do, and then they defecate and it goes into your bloodstream, which is highly toxic for your body. So it's extremely important to rid the body of them. So it's amazing for digestion. It's gentle colon cleansing too, and it curbs cravings. So when I get depressed, I emotionally eat, because I have unaddressed trauma. So this helps us address the issues working cellularly, and then it also stops you needing to binge eat. So it really helped me with my eating addictions too. So super gentle. It's just a load of Ayurvedic herbs all put together in a tiny little capsule. Doesn't taste disgusting. You just drink it down. I've done so many parasite cleanses before that are absolutely vile. And then you can just rest assured knowing that your body is free of these kind of hosts that are not welcome. And then, there's a bunch of scheduling options. We have 3, in fact. So depending on how you want to do your cleanse, if you just want to add it into what you're already doing, like you don't want to have to worry too much, that's fine. There's scheduling options if you just want to add it into your diet. Or if you're a little bit more like on the health train, you think you can do an accelerated 10-day portion, you can do that where you're just taking superfoods and high water fruits, really making sure that the body is a clear channel for its own healing. Or if you like fasting, there's an intermittent fasting schedule. So you do all of this within an 8-hour window. But, speak to whoever brought you on the call, and we can talk to you about what's going to work well for you. And this isn't about deprivation or limiting. This is about addition, adding more goodness into your body. And there are so many different ways to get started. These are the basic kits, the ultimate lifestyle transformation is what we were talking about. If you're worried about immunity, if you're getting sick a lot, you can get Plus Immune that comes with an amazing superfood called Zincade. Oh my goodness. It's got zinc, vitamin A, C, D, and E in it. So it's really helping with the immune system to prevent and also reverse and help with that. And if you work out a lot, like I know Sam is basically an athlete, me and her are in the gym every day. So we live by the Ultimate Lifestyle Plus Performance. It has all the performance products. So pre-workout, all from superfoods, the purest food on the planet, whole food nutrition that's raw dehydrated, by the way. So it's just literally nourishing the hell out of you. Pre-workout, you've got your repair for your muscles. You've got helping with oxygenation of the body, you've got the protein, you've got everything you need, and then you've got cocoa hydrate for putting those enzymes and putting those electrolytes back into the body from coconut, and then you've got aloe digest, some extra support for the gut. It's amazing. So there's 55 plus products now in the range. So if you need extra mental health support, we have white American ginseng, which is absolutely amazing. We've got a plethora of things for whatever you need in the body. So again, speak to the person who brought you on, and we can go through all of the options and make sure it's tailored to your needs. But just want to show you how much that is here.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for both coming on this call with me. I'm super excited for everyone who is going to get started because, yeah, we all know from our own experience just what amazing things can happen when you truly nourish your body. And so, yes, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Is there anything else, Ingrid or Alice, that you wanted to close with?
Sorry, I'd just love to say, you get one chance, in this life, and it's so important when you find something that works to share it. And we are just on a mission to make sure that everyone is made aware of this, and that this can be such a tangible solution to, as you can see, so many different traumas and problems that we've gone through. We've come out just shining and here as survivors of this to spread a message. So whoever invited you on, please get back in touch with them if you have any more questions, if there's anything you need, and they can get you started with 25% off this, which is another amazing thing. Like, we just want to help as many people as possible. And thank you both for inviting me. It means so much. And I'm so proud of everything that you're doing and all that you've become. You're glowing, and I'm so overwhelmed with pride and joy here.
Thank you so much, Alice. I just want to say that, it seems that this always comes into your life at the perfect time. So if you're on this call right now, this is for you. Like, we're here for you. And we're just so grateful that we're here and that you're here on this call as well. And we're just here to support you in this journey. And, why not say yes to yourself? Why not say yes to your health and to go deeper in your healing and to go deeper in your health? I mean, if you don't have your health, what do you really have, honestly? So I'm just so grateful to everyone that joined us. And yeah, please just reach back out to whoever invited you on this call. We are so excited to be able to help you get started on this journey and walk this beautiful path that we have had the absolute pleasure and blessing to be able to walk. So just so grateful for you both and everybody that joined today.
Thank you so much. I love you both, and I just hope that everyone has such a beautiful day.